Good morning, students. Yesterday we learnt about extraction of silk. Today we will see what are the characteristics of silk. Now, if you have to find out whether a particular fabric is pure silk or not, what you have to do, you can take a little piece of thread and you can burn it and see. On burning that particular thread or the fiber, you will see that if it is pure silk, it will burn slowly and it will curl away from the flame. Curl away from the flame means flame se do smells like charred meat. If the meat is burnt, the same smell will be like when you burn the fiber silk. And what will be left back? Ash will be left back after burning it. So if you see all these properties, you can say that the fabric that you have bought is a pure silk. Okay? Now here's one activity is given, that if you have taken a cloth and if you have to find out whether it is silk or not, how to find out? You will do the burning test. As I told you, you take out the fiber from that particular fabric and you try to burn it. Here it is given. The first strand, you have taken 2 threads. First strand you burn it. How it is burning? See, it is burning and the thread burns slowly. It curls away from the flame and there is a bad smell. Okay? There is a bad smell. The smell is bad but not very bad like charred meat. Okay? Then the second one is that another strand of thread burns differently. It gives a flame. It shrinks away from the flame and melts, and it gives the smell of burning plastic. So when it is giving the smell of burning plastic, what does it mean? That means it shows that both the fabrics that you have taken, they both are not silk. Why? Because they are not showing this characteristic. That means even though they are burning slowly, they are curling away, but one of the thread, it was smelling like plastic. When you burn plastic, you have smelled it. So in the same way, it was smelling like burnt plastic. So what does it prove? It proves that it is, the given fiber is not silk. Clear, children? Then we'll move on to a kind of disease that is associated with the workers who are dealing with the silk. Okay, and what is that disease? That disease is called as anthrax. Anthrax. Okay, it is a disease which is caused by the bacterium. It is caused by the bacterium anthracis. Okay, bacterium anthracis. So, anthrax is a very common infection. It is primarily a disease of cattle like sheep and goats, and it may affect the workers involved with shearing and sorting, and this disease is caused due to bacterium anthracis. Okay? It is caused due to bacterium anthracis, and this is anthrax infection. Now since the workers who are doing shearing and all, okay? About shearing you will study in class, in the next class. Sorry, you have already studied here. You have already studied about the shearing. If you remember what is shearing? Shearing was the removal of the fleece from the sheep's body. Okay? So, the workers when they are shearing that fleece, what happens is they get the infection. If the goat or the cattle or the sheep is suffering from anthrax, the workers will also get infected from the same disease because they must be having that and it is caused to the workers also. Okay, this is one kind of disease that the workers are getting. Then the second one is, and this disease, it is cutaneous. Okay, cutaneous means it can cause on the skin. Cutaneous means it can cause on the skin. It can cause means it can infect the skin. That may be blisters types. Okay. Then other than the skin, it can also infect the lungs also. It can also infect the lungs, and then it can also have intestinal infections. Clear, children? So these are the infections which are caused when you deal with sheep and goat, and when you have to remove the wool. Then you have got the problems when the workers are working with silkworms. What are the problems? They suffer from respiratory diseases like asthma and bronchial infections. Okay, any respiratory means you all know that when there is a problem in respiration, like bronchitis and asthma. And why it is so? Because see, when they have to take out the cocoon, when they are boiling the cocoon, they use diesel, the fumes from the diesel, and if it is not properly ventilated. Proper ventilated means if there are no proper windows and doors. Okay, so if it is not ventilated, when they keep on inhaling the fume, जो उसका जो धुआं होता है उसको inhale करने से what will happen? They start suffering from respiratory diseases. And then another kind of problem that the workers face is that when the cocoons are boiling, okay, they boil the cocoons in water. When the cocoons are boiling, what happens is they have to dip their hands directly into the water to take out that cocoons. And because in boiling water only the fiber comes out. So when they dip their hands in that boiling water, just imagine what happens. They all suffer from blisters on their hand. Blisters मतलब छाले पड़ जाते हैं हाथों में. So these are the different diseases that are associated with the workers working with either those who are extracting the wool or those who are extracting the silk. So with this, children, the chapter is over. We have finished with the chapter. Please read the chapter properly, and if you have got any doubt, you can WhatsApp me on my personal number. Thank you and be safe.